Uh, I'm not sure if it's um, canonically approvable to save your donkey balls on a Sunday, but happy Sunday, happy Sabbath. Okay, I'm just gonna get straight into this. I keep saying in my videos and trying to let you know about 7 years and 7 years and 7 years reaping and sowing. This is why the prophets could tell you about it, because it was happening to them basically, and they're trying to tell you what's going to be ahead of you. It's prophetic. Prophetic means to determine. Triangles and squares and things like this. It's not very about guesswork or the future, but it is about the future, I suppose, because you can form paths of induction and you can take them off into the future. Anyway, so we're in year 8, so I can retrospectively look back on the past year and compare it to the first year, which was 8 years ago. So like the first 7 years of my torment, and we've had year 8, so we started reaping. So the whole world has always been in a state of reaping and sowing, in spaces of 7 years. So like you had like a great, parents or something like this in Greece, and they were reaping and sowing really well back in ancient Greece. They were doing the best they could, but they just feasted, in fact, feasted for 7 years, and more importantly, you've seen a lot of turmoil and stuff on the world, like weather-wise, but it's only the beginning, like absolutely only the beginning, because the first year for me wasn't that bad. So I wanted to say there was compared to the years that followed. So year 3, 4, 5, and like 6 or 7 were hell, like absolutely unbearable hell on earth, hell on my mind, hell on my life. The last year hasn't been great either. I thought there were miracles witnessed a year ago. They tried to kill me, and there were a lot of miracles, and nothing changed. I suppose things were supposed to change back then, but nothing changed. So there's been a year of overtime. Basically, you're in overtime now. So you're reaping what you're sowing. Like in 7 years, like in Joseph in Egypt, they had him sorted in 7 years, and they witnessed things about him, and they got him to work in 7 years. They established Potiphar, but this hasn't happened yet. So you're going to reap another year into your reaping and sowing, like that. So at the end of the first year, I got flooded. There was politicians flooding from all around to my hometown, rich people, unbelievable, Arabian gypsy princesses and all this coming to my hometown to spend their hour with the beast. YouTube staff have probably been out to visit me in the area. They have little training camps, houses and hotels and stuff all over the area, where they come and pretend to train them. So they flock from all around. In the first year, they flocked from all around, and then at the end of the first year, they established war between each other. They're warring and fighting over everything in my temple, and my orreries, and my everything, and my names and words. And they started warring at the end of the first year, and you saw at the end of this first year, past the point, halfway point, year 8, you saw war. At the end of the year, you just started warring. The whole world, cracking out the nuclear nukes and all, and everybody's stretching their military, and everyone's saying, "Oh, you don't fucking me, man." Excuse me, I was worried. But yeah, everyone's cracking out warring, or the whole world is kind of, guns everywhere pointing at each other now. And what I'm saying is this will last, or like as good as it was or bad as it was throughout my life there for those first 7 years. They didn't stop. Like, I'm still warring out there. They're still warring with me. I'm not warring with them. They're still warring over me, basically. And my name, and my Ori. That's his name, the Lord. So what I'm saying is, war's going to keep up for the next 7 years in your life. Do you think this Ukraine thing is going to just blow away? I think it's only going to start. It's only the beginning. There will be global war again for 7 years. Yeah, things really got bad at year 3 or 4, really bad, and then towards year 7 is when I was like, I had great patience for all of that, but then at year 7, I fucked up. I'm not fucked up. Like I gave up. Like I collapsed. That's just too far. Like I was driven. You don't know. You will know. Actually, you will know exactly what I went through. But they tore my home apart in the first year. They started tearing it apart. They only started assimilating my family and friends. So like you've seen loads of houses and homes being destroyed all over the world, and it kind of flooded. Ironically, flooded. Everyone got flooded. My home and family got flooded by everybody flooding into my world, flooding into my world. Yeah, it's gonna get bad. Basically, what I'm saying is, year 3, I think they finally got me into a hospital. They had no reason to bring me to hospital, and I kept it up. They're trying to kill me loads and trying to scare me into hospital, and it didn't work. And then they finally got me into hospital, and after that, yeah. There's a lot of starving. They broke my home entirely. I was in a ditch for a good while, starving in a ditch for about 20 months. That's ahead of you. Things aren't going to get better, basically, is what I'm saying. there was an occasion where if I was like made some sort of a cultural advisor to the entire world, and like the entire world was Potiphar, my office, it might help you. Like in Egypt, Joseph was in Egypt and started working after the 7th year with him. They started to receive him. Potiphar means to receive him and work with him. They started after their 7 years, but a year into 8 again, you're in overtime. But so if I start working in this global office, say, like example, then in 7 years you'll be like Egypt and you'll have grain. You won't be in famine. You'll be okay. The reason I say global office, because like if I'm just in Ireland or if I'm just in Egypt or I'm in Russia, only Russia will kind of be doing well wherever my office is, the extent of my office, I imagine. It was supposed to happen at the very start, you know what I mean? It wasn't supposed to be. Supposed to be on a world tour or something like this. They were kept talking about. But anyway, where am I going? Yeah, 7 years since the war started over my Ori, or in my Ori, which is Armageddon. At the end of the first year, so you saw war, and you're going to have one every 7 years. At least, like, oh yeah, at the end of the 7th year, that's about 6 months after, so they tried to kill me.